Main man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is exposing time, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I had another uploader call me out over one of my Errol Spence Jr. videos. I just recently did one asking the question of why is Errol Spence Jr. seemingly avoiding the WBC and the WBA? And I gave a thorough breakdown of factual points as to why I feel as though he's ducking those two weight divisions. Now, of course, the bottom line premise is it's seeming like he's avoiding year-round drug testing. That's what it seems like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not accusing him of nothing, but I'm just saying the way that this dude moves sometimes seems suspicious. So, like in main man's fashion that he always does, I ask the tough questions. I present the evidence and then I let you decide. Well, this dude right here wanted to go on a response video, which is cool. And I did a response video to this, but I initially took it down because, quite honestly, I was paraphrasing a lot of the stuff that he was saying, and the sound quality on that video was garbage. But I was paraphrasing a lot of the stuff that he was saying. And I did not listen to the video all the way through because when he started to show a lot of the inconsistency in his boxing knowledge, I kind of just started to tune out. So I was like, you know what? That's not fair to him. The dude did take out some time to make this video. And I'm going to give him a worthy enough vid in a response to break it down. So in this particular vid, what I want to do, I want to play his video. I want y'all to hear his words, in his words. And I'm going to take on this video. Now, this video, the reason I chose to do it this way is because this basically shows the mind of an Errol Spence Jr. boxing fan. This is what happens, when you come out and you present certain facts, not to go against Errol Spence, but to kind of bring certain things to light. Sunshine is the best disinfectant, ladies and gentlemen. And to kind of get it all out there so we can move on beyond it, you're wrong on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. So they come back and they call you a bunch of names. They want to shout you down. They want to say you don't know nothing about boxing. You're this, you're that, you're that. And then when you peep what they got to say, you come back and you say to yourself, like, you accuse me of all that. And you're not even backing up nothing with facts. You're just going off emotion. The worst thing you can do is not only not back it up with facts, but back it up with lies. You know what I'm saying? Now, he accused me of lying in his vid. So, matter of fact, I'll let you tell it. I'll let him tell it. So let's deal with this kid's video and let's see what he got to say. All right, let's hit the play button, man. Let's see here.
And I don't want to be a channel killer, though. I don't want to be. I subscribe to this guy, man. I don't watch his videos because I can't watch everybody's videos, man. I can't, man. But, man, ignorant. Ignorant ass video, man. Before you actually, and I've done this in the past as well. Let me say, main man, whatever your name is. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just gonna put you in your place real quick, man.
Now hold on. Pause. He wants to put me in my place. Y'all hear that, right? He wants to put me in my place as if I just started doing this yesterday or yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing Main Man been on YouTube for quite some time now. As a matter of fact, all those subscribers that you are commenting in your comment section over there, Mr. Boxing Clinic, they've been here first. The person you said who put you on about that video, Sanja, she's been here first. So while you acting like you're schooling me that I don't know much, just know I've been around. Let's let the kid continue.
Journalism, and this is what you're doing. You're doing a YouTube video. You're putting out false propaganda because you're not researching. You're not doing the research. And if I can ask my main man, Corey, from Mr. LBTA Boxing Talk to get that video and I can post it up to my page. If you don't know, Errol Spence, for the Kell Brook fight, he did USADA. He did main man, whatever his guy name is. He did acknowledge that. And he said, one of my others said, they know how to cycle on and cycle off of that stuff. Okay. They did it for the entire fight. If somebody's guilty, they're going to do the Pacquiao. Oh, I'm scared of needles, whatever it may be.
Pause. He said Errol Spence Jr. tested for USADA for the Kell Brook fight. Okay. And we all know, because he also would go on to say that Kell Brook tested for VADA Errol Spence Jr. tested for VADA in the Kell Brook fight, which he goes on to say that I acknowledged in the video. Now, first off, he's throwing out USADA as if USADA is impressive, as if that is the for one, that wasn't even the issue that I was talking about. The subject of the video more so was about year-round drug testing, how he escaped the clean boxer program that does year-round drug testing, how he did not want to go to the WBA because they do year-round drug testing, and he then slims this down to one fight, the Kell Brook fight, and then the first thing he throws out there is that Errol Spence Jr. was tested by USADA. Look here, my man. The gold standard in drug testing is VADA. USADA is much more easily to beat than VADA. This is the same one that Floyd Mayweather took for years. He's always was down with USADA, and no one could never figure out why he was never down with VADA. VADA is the one that catches everybody. VADA is the same drug testing company that the Clean Boxer program as well as the WBA uses. VADA, not USADA. Let's keep going.
He didn't do that. He took VADA. Not only did he take VADA for the Kell Brook fight, guess what else he did? He took USADA. He double drug tested for the Kell Brook fight. You know what I'm saying? Then he's enrolled in USADA all year round. Whoever pays for it, it's not him. He doesn't have to pay for it. So
Stop right there. He's involved with USADA all year round. USADA does not do random urine testing, my friend. VADA is the ones that doesn't let you know, and they call you an hour before they have to get there, and then they just pop up at your house. Remember how Floyd Mayweather got caught with the IV gate? Remember when he got caught with the so-called IVs because VADA popped up? Because they popped up on him? That's random testing. You know what I'm saying? USADA, my friend, does not do it like that with Errol Spence Jr. That USADA I can't never recall. Errol Spence Jr. is not being tested year round. Matter of fact, Errol Spence Jr. is in the IBF, and the IBF has recently came out and stated that they will start eventually soon to do year-round drug testing. Now, right now, it is not required by their fighters to go through year-round drug testing. But the IBF said that they could not afford the same thing that the WBC and the WBA do. They can't afford it. But they are going to move towards year-round drug testing, but they're going to possibly charge it to the boxers instead, like the WBC and the WBA, where they don't charge it to the boxers. So by Errol Spence Jr. being rated in the IBF, my man, he does not go through year-round drug testing. The WBO does not do year-round drug testing because they have commissions that each commission decides their own drug testing protocols. Okay, so where you getting this thing about Errol Spence Jr. being tested year-round? No, he's only tested during competition time, my man. Let's keep going.
USADA all year round. So if he goes to the WBC and fights Keith Thurman, he'll be enrolled in VADA as well, and USADA. He's enrolled in Olympic-style drug testing year round. So what's the issue?
Errol Spence Jr. is not involved in Olympic-style drug testing year-round. First off, Olympic-style drug testing is blood and urine. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence Jr. does not do blood and urine testing. Let's keep going.
The issue is, I don't know why he went for the IBF, to be honest. I think he was ranked highest in the IBF, and the IBF gave him the quickest path to a world title. I believe that was the case. If I can flex my memory muscles a little bit more. But he obviously didn't duck the WBC and the WBA for the IBF. If you remember the time he was moving up, Floyd Mayweather was the super WBA champion. Now, excuse me,
Okay, let me stop him right. He says he doesn't know why Errol Spence Jr. Left the WBC. He's actually kind of right. He did see a much more easier path for a championship at the IBF, given that he was waiting on Kell Brook to make his decision at the time because he was the #1 contender in the IBF. And he was waiting on Kell Brook to decide whether he was going to come back to 147, what was going to happen, after his eye injury. There was talks about him possibly facing Amir Khan. So Errol Spence did not know what exactly was going to happen. So he was waiting on Kell Brook. However, in the WBC, they had ordered for him to face Timothy Bradley. And that shit looked like what they do that for. You know what I'm saying? Because Errol Spence Jr., prior to his last fight, he wasn't rated in the top 15 of the WBC. But then they elevated him up. When they redid their rankings, they pushed him up, which pushed him in the top 15. Then they ordered him to face Timothy Bradley, and then they started the Clean Boxer program. And given that Errol Spence Jr. was now rated in that top 15, he had to get tested. According to Errol Spence Jr., at first they told him he didn't have to test, and they told him that he had to test. And he was like, why should I test? At first y'all told me I didn't have to. That was his explanation. Now, I understand it was messed up for the WBC to make a fight between him and Timothy Bradley. That's granted. That was messed up. But the fact is, he got elevated. And he knew that this clean boxer program was coming. Because they were supposed to start it in August of that year. But given that none of the fighters signed up in time and everybody was BSing, they didn't get it cracking to September of that year. And so Errol Spence Jr. knew that that program was coming. And what I was saying about the thing, well, you may be right on it. It was a better opportunity for him at the IBF. At the time, you said Floyd Mayweather Jr. was the super champion of the WBA. That's true. And Keith Thurman was the WBA regular champion. And Floyd never gave Thurman that shot. But however, at the WBC, you had names like Amir Khan, I believe, was the #1 contender. Andre Berto was like the #2 guy. So Errol Spence Jr. had names there, but however, he did have a better opportunity with the IBF. But what makes it look suspicious is what I'm telling you, is that he left during the start of the clean boxer program. And then they put his name on that list of other fighters that were known drug cheats. He was in the company of fighters like Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Who else was on that list? Andre Berto. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who had Heredia at the time. There was a lot of known drug cheats on that list. Luis Ortiz. And they didn't participate. And Errol Spence Jr.'s name right in the middle of that. Now, even if you want to say, all right, he had a reason to leave the WBC at that time. He becomes IBF champion today. That still doesn't make it, when you put that in conjunction what happened with the Peterson situation as to why Peterson didn't put his title on the line against Errol Spence Jr., when you add them together, it looks suspicious. It's like, yo, you're avoiding the two sanctioning bodies that have year-round testing, random testing, that you will only know they coming an hour before they call you. IBF don't. So it's like, I get it, the reason why people may say he left during that time. And that if you would have said that, I would have understood. I would have been like, you know what? He got a point. But when you couple that with the Peterson situation as to why he ain't go to the WBA, put himself right next to Keith Thurman, it don't make sense. If we see suspicious movement by Errol Spence when the IBF institute their year-round testing, I'm telling you. But the thing is, that division is so weak. It's still like, you know what I'm saying? We want to see him fight the best. Y'all keep saying that. Then let it happen. It ain't going to happen with him staying in the IBF, man.
I just, went through this guy's video a little bit to see pretty much what he was talking about, all right? And he basically said, why would Peterson drop his WBA position as the WBA champion? At the end of the day, I mean, Peterson couldn't get the Super WBA champion. The Super WBA champion has no mandatories.
Stop right there. He said the Super WBA champion has no mandatories. Bro, that's a bold-faced lie. The WBA Super Champion does have a mandatory. The particular WBA Super Champion mandatory is decided by the committee president. Sometimes it could be 9 months. Sometimes it can be up to 120 days. You know what I'm saying? But it's all decided. This duration of this mandatory period is decided basically by the WBA committee president. The WBA Super Champion does have a mandatory. Now, it's maybe not in as fast and as rapid as the other titles, but they do have a mandatory. And eventually, the WBA Super Champion must face the official contender to that title, which would be the WBA champion. You state that Lamont Peterson would have. The problem was that Lamont Peterson just did not want to wait around for the shot. It's not as if he would have never gotten the shot. He just didn't want to wait for the shot. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, that's the reason why I asked the question as to why Lamont Peterson vacated his title. Because clearly, if he would have just stayed where he was at, he would have either got an opportunity at some time or another against the champion, or he just could have keep taking touches until he got that opportunity. It made no sense to lay down this title that he just laid down after he just came to welterweight, to lay down this title to go off in the face of Errol Spence Jr. Not to mention the WBA regular championship can be put in a unification fight, ladies and gentlemen. The way the rules works is if that particular title is involved in a unification fight, and let's say Lamont Peterson would have beaten Errol Spence, and then he would have had the IBF and the WBA regular title, he would have then had 5 days to determine whether or not which title that he will keep and defend. That's the way it works. Do your homework, my friend. Let's keep going.
Peterson was just a regular champion, you know, and the regular WBA, it didn't give him a matchup that he liked. Would he like to rematch Lucas Matisse? Because that's what it would have had to happen. And I don't think he wanted to fight Matisse even at this point in his career, even though we didn't know Matisse was going to look as bad as he did against Kyron, you know what I'm saying?
Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? First off, Lamont Peterson is an Al Heyman fighter. You sitting here telling me that he would have never gotten no fights with XYZ when he is a Al Heyman fighter. And Al Heyman controls the top welterweights at welterweight. So you're going to tell me that there was no way that Al Heyman could have cooked up a fight between him and all of those mini welterweights that he has, especially by him being WBA champion. You know what I mean? He didn't have to fight the next available guy, say, you know, like in a lot of other. No, he could have fought anybody in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So, like, don't give me that it was nobody for him to fight other than Lucas Matisse. When the last time you took a look at the WBA rankings, my friend, there's a lot of names there that could have kept Lamont Peterson busy before he got his shot against Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, even if he decided to face Errol Spence Jr., he still could have kept his title. He could have wrote the committee in writing and told them that, yo, he wanted to do a unification match with Errol Spence for his IBF title. They would have then granted him possibly that permission, I'm sure, with a little pressure from Al Heyman, would have granted him the then permission to go into a unification match with Errol Spence Jr., in which if Errol Spence Jr. would have won that WBA title, he then would have had 5 days or so to determine whether he wanted to stay in the IBF or either compete in the WBA. The point I'm trying to make is that the option would have been there. Bruh, don't come to me and act like you cannot, just because you're a WBA regular champion, that you couldn't go for a unification match. Or Errol Spence Jr. couldn't have had the same opportunity in either. No, he could have went to the WBA route, took on some much more better names. Yeah, he may have lost his IBF title, but he would have had the WBA title. And on top of that, the IBF division is dead, man. There is not even a number 1 or number 2 guy. That goes to the number 3 and number 4 guy. Number 3 is Carlos Ocampo. And then you got Konstantin Ponomariov, who's doing everything trying to get out of Errol Spence's way. What is wins over those guys going to do for the status of Errol Spence Jr. to attempt to get fights with Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and Showtime Sean Porter? Not to mention Showtime Sean Porter already came out and told us that he would not fight for the IBF. Danny Garcia said he can care less about the IBF. You know what I'm saying? But you want these fighters to come down to the will of Errol Spence and fight in the IBF, a title clearly they can care less about. Not to mention, if he would have beat Peterson for his WBA title, he would have been right next to Keith Thurman. Eventually, that fight would have came through. He would have probably got the fight faster as a WBA regular champion than as the IBF champion. This is all I'm saying, my man. And like I said before, it just seems suspicious that he does not want to fight for that title, given that the WBA does, I repeat, does do year-round drug testing, unlike the IBF that will soon do it. But today, they do not do it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Let's keep going with this kid.
He didn't want that. If Lamont Peterson fought Kyron, okay? I mean, fought Matisse or Kyron, it wouldn't have brought no money. It probably wouldn't have got a televised card. It probably would have been an opening bout to a Showtime card or something.
Stop right there. It wouldn't have brought him no money. Why do you care about money? Do you want to care about the best fights? Or do you want to care about how much money Lamont Peterson was going to make? No. No. If he would have stayed in the WBA, he would have made money. Don't give me that crap. He would have made money because guess what? Eventually a championship fight for the super championship would have came coming. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Keith Thurman may have had 1 or 2 fights before he possibly would have got in there with Peterson. But guess what? Eventually Peterson would have gotten a shot. You know what I'm saying? And not got kicked down the ladder. Now, listening to Barry Hunter, the trainer of Lamont Peterson during the time when he fought Errol Spence, he said, yo, we were tired of waiting. We just wanted the best to fight the best. I respect that attitude. But they did not have to drop the title in order to face Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to say, well, Lamont Peterson wanted to fight Errol Spence because, yo, he didn't want to make no money. Like, as you just said, well, clearly he could have still kept his title and still faced Errol Spence Jr. What I asked you to do, go back and take a look at the WBA rules pertaining to their champions, and you will see that Lamont Peterson still could have faced Errol Spence in a unification match and still kept his WBA title. Let's keep going.
Fighting Errol Spence got him the most money possible. I'm pretty sure Al Heyman sweetened the pot for him as much as he could.
No. Al Heyman sweetened the pot for Errol Spence Jr. Remember the rumors that came out. It was the rumors that Al Heyman threw a lot of back-end money to Errol Spence for the simple fact that he skipped out on that Canelo Alvarez fight because Oscar De La Hoya offered him a nice fat check, and you know, Errol Spence Jr. turned that thing down. We all know the contract that was associated with that, but Errol Spence turned it down, and it was seen as a loyalty move towards Al Heyman. So it was rumored that Al Heyman took care of Errol Spence. Now, I don't know what he did with Lamont Peterson, but it's definitely rumored that he took care of Errol Spence.
And he took the biggest challenge. He said, why would Peterson drop his WBA position? Because of money. Because of money. This guy says, oh, Errol Spence should have dropped his IBF to go get in the WBC. Idiot, man. Idiot. Do you see the log jam at the WBC, you fucking idiot?
Okay, I'm a fucking idiot. I'll be all that. But guess what? You just said the log jam at the WBC. What names are involved in that particular log jam, my man? Danny Garcia, Sean Porter? Or you mean to tell me that Errol Spence would have had to fight Danny Garcia and Sean Porter in the WBC to get to Keith Thurman? Oh my goodness. That's just only what Errol Spence has just been calling out. Dog, come on, man. Like, you make this shit so fucking easy, dog. You gonna sit back and ask me why should he go to the WBC? Because of the log jam. What? Dog, there are names at the WBC. You can't sit back and say you want Errol Spence Jr. to be a superstar and don't want to see him fight the stars, man. Like, what you want? You want him to stay in the graveyard known as the IBF, right? Where he'll stay Errol Spence Jr., the fighter that no one cares to fight. It's going to seem like everyone's afraid of him, but the fact is he ain't raising his stock by beating on Carlos Ocampo. You know what I'm saying? Or even if he fought the scary-ass Konstantin Ponamadev, that raises Errol Spence Jr. stock zero. You know what I'm saying? If he would have made that move to the WBC, imagine the names that he would have been able to tussle with in that particular weight division. You talking about a log jam. Yeah, it's a log jam of good names that would have been easily brought him to Keith Thurman fight a hell of a lot faster. This kid.
Made man, whatever your name is. Do you see the log jam?
Main man, made man, cuz. Main man, made man. Don't disrespect.
It's Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. So when he drops that belt, he loses value. Even the IBF belt, he loses value. He's a world championship fighter. Not only does he lose value, he loses A-side ability. He loses leverage. Even if he's the B-side to Keith Thurman, without the IBF championship, he's a C-side to Keith Thurman.
Why do you give a shit? Is your name freaking Eddie Hearn? Is your name Al Heyman? Who cares if he's the B, C, D, E, F, G side? You just want to see the freaking fight. That's the problem with you fight fans. Then you see what I'm going. Y'all kill me. We want to see the best fight the best. We want to see the best fight the best. Oh, but he's the B side. Oh, but he's the C side. Like, you making the damn money. You know what I'm saying? Dog, you ain't making a freaking red penny. You know what I'm saying? You ain't making nothing from the fight. You shouldn't care who is the A or B or D or C side. You should just want to see the fight. That's what champions do. You know, whenever a champion, a guy who really wants the real fights, is in a division that they ain't getting no love or no recognition from, they move. You seen what Kell Brook did when he was IBF champion, right? He couldn't get a name, nobody stepping into the ring with him. What does he do? He goes up to 160 to face Gennady Golovkin, because that's what you do. You go after those fights. You know what I'm saying? We seen Jamal Charlo recently just vacate his title, leave 154 to go up to 160, and now he's the now going to be, if he gets to his next fight, he'll be the mandatory challenger to Gennady Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? He went after that thing. That's what you do. You don't just sit back and hope that they come to you. You make shit happen when shit don't happen. And this is what I charge Errol Spence with. I want to see him running up in the ring like we saw Sean Porter at the Danny Garcia fight. I want to see Errol Spence. He's got to do a lot more. He's got to open his freaking mouth. I've already accused him of this in the past. And you're sitting back telling me, but if he give up his title, he'll lose leverage and he'll be the BCDE. What, you think he's going to be the A side against another guy with 3 belts? Let's say Keith Thurman had 3 belts. Errol Spence Jr. would still be the E side. You know what I'm saying? It don't freaking matter. The only difference is if he went to the WBC, he would have probably got fights with guys either Danny or maybe Sean or maybe Alberto or somebody that we recognize in the WBC. You know what I'm saying? Other than Carlos Ocampo. And now we're going to sit around. Keith Thurman ain't going to fight him. Danny ain't going to fight him. Porter ain't going to fight him. And guess what? He's going to still be in the IBF, still crying about, ain't nobody trying to fight me. But you standing in the IBF. Dog, man, crazy.
A side. You know, he can go rank. He gonna try to get ranked in WBC, and it's not a part that he's ducking Vada. That's not had nothing to do with. He's in USADA and do Vada, both of them for Kell Brook. It's a simple fact that he got.
It's not year round, my man. You're talking competition time. You're giving me single fights. I'm talking year round. When they are enrolled in a clean boxer program, it's year round and it's random, whether that's WBC or WBA and soon to be IBF. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Stick to the script. Stop moving the goalposts.
IBF title. At the end of the day, what's the goal of Errol Spence? Is to unify all the belts. What's the goal of Terrence Crawford? Is to unify all the belts. What's the goal of Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia? It's just to fight each other and hide from Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, man. You know,
the high from Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford has not had one fight at welterweight. You don't even know if he's going to get through Jeff Horn. It'll be uploaders like you looking real dumb if Terrence Crawford loses to Jeff Horn. That is not a shoo-in. So ain't nobody ducking Terrence Crawford. Everybody's sitting around and waiting to see how Terrence Crawford will look at welterweight. You know what I'm saying?
These guys got to do their research and get their game up, man. They too light out here, man.
I'm too light, bro. I've been doing this before you. You know what I'm saying? I told you before, everybody in your comment section has been subscribed to this channel at one time or another. See, this is the reason why I never show my subscriber count for guys like this. You know what I'm saying? They base your knowledge of something on the number of subscribers that you got. So I don't show it. You know, the number is very, very decent, but I don't show it because I want you to come at me on my own merit. My main man, you don't know anything about my boxing knowledge, bruh. It goes very deep, very extensive. You need to check my archives, okay? And then come back and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I can tell you things about boxing that you would never believe. Cut the jokes.
And I don't want to disrespect cuz, but dude, when you don't do a service to yourself and your channels, your subscribers to research something, you know, then you pushing out fake news. You pushing out fake.
You just sat here and told me that USADA was Olympic-style drug testing. You also told me that you just got here and told me that Errol Spence Jr. does year-round drug testing. You couldn't even tell me why he left the WBC, and you want to come to me and tell me to do research? Are you out of your nugget? You know what I'm saying? Blood. You are out of your nugget, shawty. You know what I'm talking about? Like you trying to school me and your story is incomplete. This is the mind, ladies and gentlemen, of a Errol Spence Jr. fan right here. It's not about facts. It's all emotion. You claim you want to see him fight the best, but you want him to remain complacent. It doesn't make any sense as to the reason why he doesn't go to the WBA or WBC when he clearly had the opportunity. It's people like this that prevents these fights from happening, man. Damn. This is the reason the fights don't happen. Because he won't be B-side. He won't be C-side. He's going to be C-side. He's going to be D. This is not how boxing works. If you want to be the best, you go after the best. You don't wait till it come to you. You do what you got to do. That IBF title ain't going nowhere. If you want to unify, become totally undisputed, go after the Owens. Trust me, there is nobody in the IBF rankings holding a torch to Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or Danny Garcia. They can beat everybody in that damn division. That title ain't going nowhere, bruh. Plus, they got Al Heyman. This is chess, not checkers, man. I'm almost going hoarse because I've been talking so long. But I will say this, my man. I appreciate your effort. I truly do. You get an A for effort. But I have literally just did a vid where I used your own words and I responded to basically every point that you made with facts. You know what I mean? And this is me doing this off the head. You got a nerve that want to charge at me to do research, bro. I will run circles around you and your whole channel. I will run circles. You want to debate me? You want to debate me? Don't embarrass yourself, my man. I'm trying to warn you. Don't embarrass yourself. At the end of the day, you can say what you want about Main Man, Made Man, but you can never say I'm not well researched. Go back and look at my Guillermo Regendial videos. Go back. I got an upcoming one about the origins of Kell Brook and Amir Khan's beef. You want to learn something? Stay subscribed to this channel and you will learn something. But we can definitely do that debate that you want to invite me to. I think you invited me to this at the end. I'm going to let everybody hear this.
Propaganda. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I don't want to be the channel killer, man. But at the end of the day, man, all y'all whack ass channels gonna die. I'm not saying do it.
Let me say something to you, blood. First off, you can never kill my channel. Your arms are way too short to box with God. You know what I'm saying? You can never, ever in a zillion and 1 years, my dude, kill this channel. I can give you every info about this channel and you still couldn't kill this channel. I can give you a cannon, a gun, a 4.5, a knife, and 3 grenades, and you still couldn't kill this channel, bruh. You don't know who you fucking with. This is Main Man, Made Man. You can never kill this channel. Trust me on that.
Whack, but I'm saying he whack for putting out that false shit. You feel me? But at the end of the day, why, like, Main Man, let me know, man. We could debate. We could hop on a debate if I could find some time, preferably Saturday or Friday afternoon, because my baby's going out of town for their birthday, for their birthday. So, for my daughter's birthday. But, you know, let me know, man. Why would you drop a belt when you're trying to unify all the belts, bro? And why you don't do research on your video?
Why would you try to drop a belt when you're trying to unify all the belts? How the hell are you going to get to all the belts? You got to get to the other belts first. The IBF belt ain't going nowhere. What the hell are you talking about? Who the hell got all the belts? The belts are scattered. The WBO is on Jeff Horn's waist. What are you talking about? How are you going to unify all the belts? What? Bro, at this particular level, at this particular point, this kid is trying to raise his status, raise his name. Staying in the IBF ain't going to do that, man. If you want put Errol Spence on the map, he has to go after these fights. You need to stop playing protection, man. You need to stop saying, Errol Spence, stay in the IBF and don't fight and let them all come to you. Yeah, we'll be waiting 2 to 3 years for that. I'm trying to speed this up, bruh. He need to go after it. He is the B-side, as you say. Then he needs to go after these fights.
Yo, dog, just let me know, man. Let me know. We gone.
All right, well, and as for that debate, I debate you any day of the week, bro. Like any day. I can debate you with one eye open, one eye closed. I ain't got to have no computers open. I can debate you while riding a roller coaster, man, like without even thinking about it. So it really would be nothing. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told. That's just the reason I wanted to redo the video. Because me just kind of just running down a bunch of facts to you, and like I did in the first one, it won't even hit home with you. You know what I'm saying? So fight fans, boxing fans, now you see what I'm talking about. This is what I deal with. I deal with a lot of people that come at me throwing a bunch of shit to the wall, hoping that any of it sticks when half of it is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But you can call me what you want, animated, loud, talk too much. At the end of the day, what you can never refute on Main Man Made Man's channel is his knowledge of the sport of boxing and his research effort, if you will. The videos speak for themselves. So to the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum. Google Plus, Main Man Made Man. Something seems suspicious about Errol Spence Jr. He seemingly avoided year-round drug testing. That's all I stated. He's a great fighter, good fighter, full of heart, young lion, bull. I love the way he talks, moves, all. But I do want this issue put to rest, so we can then move on and say, yo, Errol Spence Jr. is the truth, clean fighter. Here's the proof. We moving along. To the next video. Peace out.